Alright, so the first video kind of cut off before this would end, so you should still have your handout here, and I think we can begin the video from here.
We also have plant or root action. What happens here is that the plant will actually grow into a surface, and the roots will make their way down into cracks. As the plant grows, there's water within those roots, and it helps push apart or create forces that push apart the material or the rock, breaking them down. And we can see here that as it breaks open, it exposes these new surfaces where the roots can grow and push apart. We can see this on sidewalks. We've probably seen this before. As the root or the tree grows, it pushes it up and out of the way. Or sometimes you'll see trees growing on the side of barren rock. It's because their roots are down in cracks where there is more substrate for them to take advantage of. What we can do is put barriers up, basically metal barriers, to stop the roots from growing and causing that pushing up of sidewalks. We don't see it too often, but we can do it. Finally, we can have human interaction or the breakdown of rock, which we do all the time. Mining is a great example of that, where we'll put in explosives, break open whole rock faces, and to get in and excavate out the materials we want. Digging of animals or humans basically break down rock into finer particles. Okay. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. We'll go on to this next time. I hope you enjoyed this screencast into physical weathering. Have a great day.
Alright, so moving on, let's see what we've learned here. This is a very common SOL question, so I want you to think about what we've been discussing here and learning, and I'd like to ask you, what caused this rock formation? Now, this slide, you don't need to write down any notes here. I just want you to kind of look at this picture and choose an answer. So what do you think caused this rock formation? The answer here is wind, okay? The process of picking up sand through sandstorms and things of that nature and wind abrasion, this of course would definitely be a mechanical weathering effect, okay? This is not chemical weathering, this is still mechanical, all right? Do you know this? What do you think caused the Grand Canyon to form? Take a minute to look at it here. So what caused the Grand Canyon to form? Is it A, wind, B, ice, glaciers from the last ice age, C, water, or D, gravity? What caused the Grand Canyon to form? And the answer to that is water. The answer here is C. You have to understand that water is a very powerful agent. And of course, you can see here where it has flooded over here, and these are old flood plains, but water cuts through a canyon. And of course, this being the Grand Canyon, a great example of that, the Grand Canyon here. There's parts of this canyon that are over a mile deep. It's very beautiful. It's one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. You need to check it out. All right, so that brings an end to mechanical or physical weathering, but now we're going to talk about chemical weathering. Chemical weathering is going to break down rocks by chemical reactions. And make sure you're writing this down, okay? Make sure you're writing down the definition here of chemical weathering. Chemical weathering is breaking down rocks through chemical reactions, and the agents of chemical weathering would be, and this would be liquid water, okay, oxygen, acid rain, or a weak carbonic acid, okay. Now the SOL was probably going to say oxidation acid precipitation, and hydrolysis. But let's just make sure we know what these chemical agents are and how they have reactions with the various types of minerals in rocks that they come in contact with. Okay, these of course would be chemical reactions. As you can see here in the illustration, I'm showing you where there's sulfur dioxide. They call this SOx and NOx, nitrous oxide, and this comes from the burning of fossil fuels, which adds to the water vapor, which adds to the acidity of natural rainwater. Remember, anything below a 7 on the pH scale is considered an acid. Okay. The agents of chemical weathering are oxidation. So what is it using? Oxygen. Acid precipitation, which is more than likely a weak carbonic acid. And hydrolysis, which of course is using liquid water. So oxidation. Oxidation is the chemical breaking down of a rock through chemical reactions, such as oxygen, water, and some type of metal. You can see here in the picture the brown area here has not been exposed to the atmosphere. But the part of the rock that has been exposed to the atmosphere, it's showing that this this rock must have iron in it because it is oxidized. Just like the rust here, as you can see down here, the rust on this motorcycle has been, the metal is rusting because it is being oxidized by rain and the oxygen in the rainwater. So, many times metal will have that reaction. If it's iron, it's going to be rusty. If it's green, it must be copper, just like the Statue of Liberty. A lot of people sing about the Green River. Well, what causes the Green River to be green? Well, it's the copper. Okay, it's the copper in the bedrock. Some people have iron in their water, especially over in the Appalachian Plateau area where they mine coal. There's a lot of iron there. Well, having all of that iron in the water causes a lot of their clothes to be, the whites would be a rusty look, so they have to buy a special detergent which has some iron out with it, which causes, that takes away that rusty look. So here are some pictures of the effects of chemical weathering. This right here would be caused by what? Would this be oxidation? No, this is caused by acid precipitation. This tombstone here on the left is showing that acid rain has came in contact with this limestone. This is limestone. And of course they quit using limestone as headstones because over time you wouldn't know who would be buried there because the calcite in the limestone gets dissolved by acid rain. Whereas this picture on the right, we have a lot of iron in the rock here, and you can see that it's been oxidized. All right. So caves are caused by chemical weathering. Okay. Limestone, of course, and we talked about the Valley and Ridge province, the physiographic provinces of Virginia. The Valley and Ridge province, caves are caused by chemical weathering. Okay. And so the karst topography, remember karst means caves, sinkholes found in limestone. And chemical weathering thrives in a tropical climate. That tells you a lot about the Valley and Ridge province. It used to be very tropical during the Pangea time. You know, Pangea was a supercontinent, and of course we were located closer to the equator during that time, the Valley and Ridge Province. If you go to Mexico now and other parts of South America, you're going to see massive caves. Of course, the largest cave system in the world is Mammoth Cave, Kentucky, and it has those nice stalactites, okay, and stalagmite formations, and if they come together, they're called columns, okay. But what happens is acidic groundwater, as water goes, you know, rainwater infiltrates through the soil, and as it goes down through there, it actually will have a weak carbonic acid, and it slowly but surely takes away the calcite out of the limestone and ends up being, and of course it leaves a cave. And Mammoth Cave, Kentucky is the largest cave system in the world. But you know, it's just like having a cavity in your tooth. Sugar will eat away the enamel of your tooth and leave a cavity. Well, the acidic groundwater will actually leave a cavity behind, and we call that a cavern or a cave. Okay, so we're going to have you stop this video, and you will go to video number 3, and you will need to get your handout, physical and chemical weathering video question part 2, and you will watch the chemical weathering video.